At a time like this, old Jack Burton would say one thing. He'd say, "Aw, what the hell." Yes, that is right. Just got a copy of Big Trouble in Little China on Blu-ray. Update. And this film here was made in 1986. The film I was born. 27 years now. Old as me. Of course, this is John Carpenter's cult classic, one of my all-time favorites. At the time, in the 80s, the East was really like big in America. There was a pretty good audience for it. It was just kind of funny because at the time too, I guess the film didn't really do well at the box office, so it was kind of ahead of its time. But stars Kurt Russell, plays his old Jack Burton, and he drives into San Francisco on his Pork Chop Express, his truck, with delivering a load. And he gets into Chinatown where he drops off his freight, and then he does some gambling overnight with an old buddy, Wong. And Wong ends up losing some money against him, and then they go to pick up Miao Yin, Wong's soon-to-be wife, at the airport. And of course old Jack drives him there, so hoping that he'll get his money from him. And they also run into a woman, Gracie Law, there, played by Kim Cattrall. And she's a lawyer, or supposed to be a lawyer in the movie. Never really actually, like, for sure whether or not she's a lawyer. She could be a reporter for all I know, but she's supposed to be a lawyer. But as they're waiting there, she's waiting there to pick up an Asian woman. And then while Wong and old Jack are there to pick up Miao Yin, the Lords of Death, the Chinatown gang, are there waiting too to pick up some girls, and they happen to pick up Miao Yin. And then old Jack and Wong, they try to stop them, and then the Lords of Death guys, they get this red Trans Am and about run him down. And then old Jack and Wong chase him into the heart of Chinatown, and then they end up in the middle of this these two rivalry China clans, the families. And it's this big, like, he's got his Pork Chop Express, his diesel, right in the middle of this old big, like, two-clan Chinese standoff. And it goes into just this intense, like, this all-out shootout, I mean, all-out action. Then it goes into this martial arts extravaganza. I mean, pretty good forms from everybody. I mean, for a Hollywood film, the choreography and the stunts and everything, the acrobatics are actually pretty well done. Old Carpenter was pretty good at that, or directing that. And he does all his own music, as always, in this, except for one movie, but we'll get to that later. But anyways, they're in the middle of this gang showdown, and then the Three Storms show up, which they actually inspired Raiden in the Mortal Kombat series. They're these thunder gods wearing the classic Chinese hat and the suits, and they just like start shooting the lightning out of their hands, and they just start, all three of these guys just start taking on everybody. And then so old Jack, he drives past them, and then Lo Pan, this like 2,000-year-old sorcerer, is there, and he runs him down, gets out of the truck, goes like, "Man, I just killed this guy." And he's standing back up, Lo Pan is, and he like shoots his like light beams out of his eyes and mouth and blinds Jack temporarily, and old Wong grabs him and they run off and gets water in his eyes and it gets his sight back. And then he's all like, "Man, what the hell is going on here?" and all this. And so they get out of there and they go for to old Uncle Chu's, which is uncle of Wang. And one of his friends, Eddie, is there, and another reporter who's actually a friend of Gracie Law's, and she shows up with them, and they're all there, Jack and Wang. And they find out that they have taken Miao Yin to, I guess it's kind of like a brothel, pretty much, yeah. And she has green eyes, by the way, which is important, because Lo Pan, he's trying to become immortal, and he can only do that if he marries a girl with jade green eyes. And also, Gracie has green eyes, but they get this whole, Gracie comes with the idea to send old Jack, Kurt Russell, in there, with this just funny, silly disguise with glasses and his suit. And while he's there, the Three Storms bust in, take Miao Yin, and old Jack and Jack and Wang, they actually follow him out to their It's called, I think it's called like Wang King's like imports, exports, and they go out there, and it's actually Lo Pan's like secrets way underground. That's where he stays. Nobody actually like ever sees him. That's the first time on the streets he's ever been seen. But they go there to get old Miao Yin back, and they get captured by Lo Pan, and then Gracie and all them, Eddie and her reporter friend, they go, they get captured. It's a silly, very funny. The dialogue in this is hilarious. It's all in the reflexes, old Jack would say. But they all get captured, and then of course Jack and Wang, they get free. And it's kind of funny because like Jack's like, while he's the main character, Russell is, he's like the sidekick as well, comedically, because he like tries to, his gun locks up and he's in the corner getting ready to get his knife, and by the time he gets back out, old Wang's fucking martial arts, I mean chops, kicks everyone down, and he beats them all by the time Jack gets back out of there. But they end up getting the girls, getting all the Chinese girls they captured, getting out of there. They came in disguised as like electrical men, servicemen, I think. But then right at the exit, old Gracie Law, she gets she looks at this, like these eyes moving in this little statue, and the door opens and this big hairy weird looking monster. Some pretty good special effects in here, classic 80s special effects, and they takes her, and they all get into they all get out of there, and it's like, yeah, they get into Egg Shan's bus. He's like a tourist guy, and then they decide to, Egg Shan and his guys, the yellow like turban guys, and all Wang and Jack, they decide to go back in there and get Miao Yin and Gracie, because they actually didn't end up getting Miao Yin, they just got Gracie and the other girls. But they go back in there. It's like fixing to be Lo Pan's fixing to get married, and the guy, the let's see if I can see him right there. Yeah, that there is Carter Wong, which he's the exploding. He gets angry and it gets real big, and then there's the scene when Lo Pan dies. His face is just all steam shooting out of his nose and eyes, and his whole body just blows up. It's greatness. It's really what he's known for. But actually, he's a very good, skilled martial artist. He was on a lot of the Sammo Hung, Angela Mao films. I think he might have been in a few of the Shaw Brothers. He was in 18 Bronze Men. He really was a good martial artist. Then he moved to over here to the States in like the early 80s to learn more and to do. He was really into the bodybuilding. He was a bigger Chinese guy, and he got the role in this. But he's actually a pretty skilled martial artist. Old Carter Wong is. A lot of good movies that he was in. But it ends up they all take these potions and they run across all these like strange looking creatures, like the ball with eyes and the thing that jumps out and attacks them while they're down in the under the sewers at Chinatown. And this low, like there's like the black blood of the earth is there, and Jack is like over what the you know, all this like Chinese sorcery and black magic. He just doesn't believe it. And it ends up being, I mean, one hell of a showdown. I mean, when they get there and Lo Pan finally becomes mortal, it's just like martial arts, guns, sorcery, special effects. I mean, just all out, people flying back and forth. Lo Pan and old Egg Shan, they like shoot lasers out of their fingers, and it creates these like these illusion samurai, and they're like all. It's pretty funny. He's fighting with his fingers, and old Jack throws a knife at Lo Pan and misses. The knife he picks up the knife, and he's all like, yeah, it's a good knife, and throws it back, and old Jack grabs it, throws it back him right in his face. It's all in the reflexes. They run out of there with the girls, with Miao Yin and Gracie, and ends up being, of course, they get out of there. Then in the end, old Jack, he decides to just go ahead and get his money, because Wang, he pays him like triple instead of double for his losses on the gambling. And he gets his truck back, and he gets out of there, and then rides off in the Pork Chop Express. He could have had Gracie, but he decides to just keep going. And this is just a fun film. I mean, everyone's probably already seen this. If you hadn't, well, I guess the camera just got tired of me running my mouth. where I was at was, if you hadn't seen this, you definitely need to go and check this out right now. Just a fun film. I mean, a good time. Sitting around on the couch eating popcorn, watching this. You'll have fun. Let me show you there's what the disc looks like in there. But, yeah, I guess that's my review for Big Trouble in Little China. And at a time like this, Jack Burton would say, thanks for watching.